Hi, Mark here from the Tangibound Podcast Network and host of the flagship show, the Tangibound Podcast. Did you know that we over at Tangibound are always looking for amazing podcasts to promote? And did you also know that we are also proud nerds and geeks of everything from movies, music, gaming, TV shows, and comic books to wrestling, MMA, soccer, and football? Whatever you can nerd or geek out about, we've got it. And if you're interested, we can help you find it. And if you're a show looking for a place to call home, we've got you covered. Side effects may include upset stomach, dizziness, tumors, shakes, and in some rare cases, death from excessive laughter. Though to be fair, it's only sometimes. Other side effects may include diarrhea, gallstones, heart palpitations, and strong desire for cookies on the dark side. Talk to your doctor and visit TangiboundNetwork.com and see if Tangibound Network is right for you.
Hello, and welcome to the Moving the Needle podcast, where we ask, what moves you? Excellent or bogus? Did anyone do the right thing? Do you mess with the Zohan? With me tonight to discuss Do the Right Thing, Rocky versus Creed, childhood, guilty pleasures, a test of time, you don't mess with the Zohan, once upon a time in Hollywood. With me tonight is Stephanie.
Hello.
Roy. Hello. And Henno. Yo, we want to thank you for listening on iTunes. We're also available on Spotify, just about everywhere you can find podcasts. We are, so come on now,
Google
let
Play.
us know. Email us at mtnpodcast@gmail.com or on facebook.com/mtnpod. Twitter and tweet us at mtnpod. There's so many ways to find us.
Welcome to the podcast from Temperance Town, the sexiest podcast of world renowned. Tony grows a beard to hide his chin, swaps it with Earl so it glistens. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Download the pod, you won't get enough of these dapper chaps talking deadly fluff. In Hobo Gulch they run a homeless mission, clanging and banging with the pentagram of kittens. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. They enjoy their whiskey and local craft beer. By Odin's unkempt pubis we give a cheer. Tony's a raccoon when he's booziest. Don't be a savage, be an enthusiast. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. On the frozen tundra they call it a lock. Tony likes to masturbate in a sock. Brian pisses rocks cause it feels so great. I still don't know who the fuck is Tate. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. The boys will let you know when there's a Spurler. Due to male pattern baldness, they don't wear curlers. Stay salty, people, that's their closing line. And don't forget, have a beer, you'll be fine. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty language.
Hey enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language, episode 473.
The sexiest podcast on the network. Brian,
Tony.
how's it going, bro?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm alive and well, I guess.
Well, that's...
Living the dream. Coming up to Labor Day weekend, hoping and praying that I'm actually have a Saturday off. That'd be dope for a change.
Yep.
Still haven't heard yet, though. Really annoys the shit out of me.
Right, they'll let you know Saturday morning, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Thursday or Friday. Like, oh, by the way, just let you know we're working Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, I might stab a motherfucker.
Well, on the other side of it, I mean, I guess, you know, if they tell you now, you're just dreading it the whole week. If they wait till Thursday,
I mean, I guess.
you just get that, you know, instant rage instead. I don't know which is
Still,
worse.
though.
Yeah.
Still, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Yep.
Yes. But no, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
It's weird with it's weird with Labor Day because I've had a few people ask me if I have Labor Day plans, and I'm like, what are you gonna go do? Like, what are you, you know, like, I'm not like, go look at my Instagram. I'm not one of those that's like, you know, every 2 days posting something about me and like 15 of my friends where we all don't have masks on and be like, oh, don't worry, we were all tested. Bullshit, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, wow, really? You and your friends are getting tested and results like every 2 days? Man, that's amazing.
That is incredible.
Yeah. Like, are you in the government or a professional athlete? How is this happening?
Well, they're getting tested like man, woman, camera, television.
Yeah. And pull the old, you know, they're just asking each other. That's the test. You know?
Yeah. Dude, you got COVID? Nah, bro. All right, cool. Let's make up.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's exactly how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like, same here. I have no plans. Because, you know, once upon a time it would be like, let's go to the cottage. Woo! Well, that doesn't exist in my life anymore.
Yeah, that's right out. Yep.
So now it's like, and obviously with COVID, it's not like, you know, pre-COVID, I might have been like, well, fuck, let's like camp this weekend or something, you know?
Right.
I don't want to even go to, like, no.
No. Yeah.
No,
right?
I'm good.
Yeah. Nah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's weird.
Yep. That's what, and that's the, it wouldn't shock me if, like if my siblings do a cookout or something, but I probably won't go.
Yeah. Like,
because even though they're family, it's still like, it's too many people. It's, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, over the weekend when, you know, Steve came over, it was just him and I until, you know, we got back home, and it's him, Michelle, and I. You know, it's not like we had 40 people in the backyard.
Yeah,
or
right.
anything. I mean, I have a strong feeling I'm going to be in this house well over a year before I have an official housewarming party.
Yeah, very well could be.
Which is sad, because I was really looking forward to doing backyard barbecues this summer.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's all right. We'll just, you know, just load it up when it's finally time to go, you know.
I guess. Double down on that shit.
Big blowout. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We'll build a mountain of beer cans taller than the neighbors.
Right. Your neighbors are knocking on your front door and be like, could you maybe take a day off of partying? Like, it's been like 6 months now. Like, when's
I'm
this
in the backyard talking to him through my Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
Bro.
When's this housewarming party going to be over?
If you want a burger, I got some going.
Yeah. I'll flip you one over the fence.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, hey, can we come in? Be like, do you got a bracelet?
Yeah.
Or a wristband?
Got Big Dev down here checking checking IDs at the door.
Yep. Sorry, you're not on the list. You didn't even look. I just know you're not on the list.
Yeah, you're not on the list.
Damn. This place.
No, it's kind of weird that Labor Day plans aren't really a thing right now.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like I said, you know, as people ask them, kind of like, what are you doing? Like I'm very curious then. Like, well, what are your plans? You know, like, are you going to some cookout party thing or whatever? And you know, I haven't heard that many people say that they are. Most of them are like, oh, you know, me and the family might have one in the backyard or something. You know, cook on the grill kind of a thing. And
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And by family, I mean,
don't know. I should call my mom and see if they're planning on doing maybe a little like small family cookout or something.
Yeah,
they've been known to do that sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, it's just like, to me, it's like, yeah, it's just another weekend. It's not.
Yeah, well, like honestly, my hope is that I hope I have a long weekend.
Right. Yeah.
That's all I want, honestly.
Yeah, which is understandable.
My plans are relaxation for hopefully 3 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have Monday off for sure?
Yeah, definitely have Monday.
Okay, so you definitely at least have a 2-day weekend.
Yeah, but come on.
I know.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying. At least there's that, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, it still seems like bullshit.
That's because it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah, what are you going to do, though, right?
Yeah. Eat shit, cash checks, I guess.
Yeah, that's that can be found at the official Tonyco T-shirt shop now.
I wish I could take credit
I know,
for that. It's a Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, I know.
But it's 100% accurate to my life right now.
Right. You know, if he doesn't sell that shirt, he really should sell that shirt, because right now would be the perfect time to sell that shirt, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, it's kind of toasty down here, which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had a little fan going or something, because we turned the air out because it's been so cool out. And normally when I podcast on here, like in my ductwork, I have a vent that's like right above me, and I usually freeze my ass off when we're podcasting because it's just like right on my head. You
nice,
know?
Nice. Yeah. Sounds
but
perfect.
now that it's not going, I kind of miss the little fella.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little toasty.
You got a reaching stick you can bang on the ceiling. You know?
Well, I mean, I guess, because we got that old smart thermostat. I could just fire up the air.
Oh,
windows
yeah,
are
that's
open.
right. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so whatever.
Just turn the fan on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, man. Nah, but yeah, it's been, it's like every time we podcast, I worked a lot and I did a little bit of shit on the weekend, and then it was back to work basically.
Yeah. I know it is interesting, like listening to various podcasts, where they do like us, where they usually would start with the "How was your week?" thing, and it's like I've noticed that there's some that I've listened to that have kind of sort of dropped that for now, because basically there's not a lot to really report, and then it's more of a, if something happened, they just go ahead and tell what happened versus a deliberate, like, how was your week? Because like you, it's like I really didn't do a whole lot this week. Just normal stuff that's boring and not exciting. I mean, I can go into like, what I consumed or whatever this week, but that's about the best I can do. As far as actually doing anything, I didn't really do much.
I mean, like Saturday, I worked in the morning, and then what the fuck did we do? We went out. We drove out to the river, walked along the river. Michelle and I did, and then Steve came over, and him and I had some scotch in the backyard, tried to figure out what the hell we were doing, and then we're like, well, let's go downtown. And it was actually the first time I've eaten a meal at a bar in a long time. It felt weird.
Yeah, I bet.
Because he was hungry, I was hungry. We wanted to do Dora District so we could walk around, smoke cigars, and drink.
Yeah. Yep.
And went to the Dirty Bird. So I'm like, dude, they got a great patio. And we walk in, they're like, hey, can we go outdoor seating? They're like, nah, it's all full.
Yeah.
Like, you could pick a table in here if you want. And I look, and there's like one guy went in a bar, and then they had this huge gap of stools. Yeah. And then there was like 3 stools on the other end. And I'm like, you cool at the bar? He's like, yeah, I'm cool. And so we sat at the bar and had a couple beers and ate some food, and it felt weird, but it felt cool at the same time.
Right. Yep. I know it does.
Then,
it feels like you're getting away with something.
Yeah, exactly. But then it was, because it's Dora District, we got some beers to go, which Dora, for those of you not know, is a downtown outdoor recreation area.
Right, which just means...
basically means if you have the properly marked cup, you can walk around with alcohol.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. Also funny to me, but yeah. Like, you have to have the appropriately marked cup,
Yeah, it has to be a Dora cup. Although I was thinking, so how Sylvania also has a Dora District, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not a very big district. There's not that many spots in there, but downtown Sylvania is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
What's the stop? Like, say you and I go down there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Brian, just hang out in the Ace Hardware parking lot real quick. And I run across the street to Speedway and get just a couple tall boys, and we just fill our cups back up.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what I was thinking is, that's why it's funny to me with the whole, like appropriately marked cups. And it was like, I mean, I could just keep the cup if I wanted to also, and just walk into that area with whatever I want in there, Yeah.
Because I mean, the only stipulation is you can't walk into a venue with the cup.
Right.
You have to finish your drink before you go into a place.
That's why I have my fanny pack.
Yeah. Nice.
I just put a paper towel in the cup and tuck it right in the fanny pack, and we're good to go.
Good to go.
And I just collect the cups all night, so I'm good for a while. I just come home, Give them a good wash.
Right? No, I gotta say though, downtown Toledo was pretty cool right now.
Yeah.
Because like we got down, in the Dora district, they had all kinds of streets shut down, and they just had a bunch of tables in the middle of the roads, and just people were being pretty. So you could see some people definitely weren't.
Yeah, right.
But most people were being pretty socially distant, and there was like one end of the street that had a stage, and there was a band playing outside, and then there was like a couple blocks away, there was a band playing up on the roof of a building.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. They're doing a good job keeping downtown kind of hopping.
Yeah. Well,
There's
cool,
some food trucks and stuff parked around, and
which makes sense given
nice.
the Dora stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, it was cool. The only thing I didn't know, Brian, was apparently because I don't really go out right now.
Yeah.
At least not late.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, the old governor of Ohio shut down bars at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was just a couple of weeks ago that happened. I saw that they were doing it on the news because they were interviewing various bars in the area, asking them how they felt, which is always a fun listen because, half of them are like, hey, it's better than shutting it down altogether, and then the other half are like, man, that's going to really cut into our revenue, and and it's like, no, it isn't, because like the other people are saying, it's like your options kind of are, we either shut it down a couple hours early, or we shut it down.
Shut it down.
Yeah. Shut it down.
Well,
shut it down.
We didn't know. Like if we would have known, we would have hopped in somewhere and got a couple more drinks and then just hung out outside.
Yeah.
But we were outside smoking our cigars and just bullshitting, and we were just walking around and just enjoying life.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, hey, I'm out, you're out. Let's go into the Blarney was kind of happening. There's a lot of people inside. We're like, let's go to the Blarney and get a drink. And we come around, I was like, oh shit, they're doing Oktoberfest. They're selling like the big plastic boot.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck yeah, let's do this, right?
Yeah.
Doors locked. We're like, the fuck? And then like people were walking out.
Yeah.
So we tried walking in.
Yeah. Sure.
And this big old security guard's like, nah, man, we're closed. And we're like, bro, it's like 10:15. What do you mean you're closed? And the guy's like, yeah, everyone's closed.
Yeah.
And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, are you guys from here? Do you know what's happening?
Like, look at us. Do we look like we know what's happening?
And he's like, yeah, the governor. All bars shut down at 10. We're like, what? Oh, shit.
Yep.
And I mean, there was like every bar had tons of people in it, but I'm sure it was last call.
It should be, because they're not supposed to be serving after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's the.
I'm sure they were just in there finishing up and they're slowly trickling out. But
right.
like even at the Dirty Bird, the lady was like, "Oh yeah, last call's at 10."
Yeah, because I think that's what it is. Is I think it's they can't serve alcohol after 10. I think the people have to be out of there by 11 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she said something like that. But we were just like, "Oh, okay, it just must be for here."
No.
We're not even thinking it was like a statewide thing.
Yeah, it's a statewide thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of like, well, we were kind of like, oh, whatever. We finished up our cigars and hopped in the car and just came back here and hung out in the backyard, had some bourbon, and
right.
just, BS. I think it's late as I've honestly stayed up in a while.
Yeah.
I think I went to bed at like 1 or something.
Right. Damn, dude.
And that night, how last week I discussed who needs sleep, you're never going to get it.
Yeah.
I woke up at like 2 something. So I was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
DED, as the kids say.
Yeah.
Dead.
Well, at least you got some sleep at some point,
Oh yeah, I slept hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of nice actually. And then Sunday morning, just kind of chilled. She's been doing a bunch of painting lately, so she did some painting and made some coffee. And then I just was like looking at her, I'm like, you want to go on an adventure today? She's like, oh yeah, I guess. I'm like, you ever been downriver? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well let's wrap it up and let's hit in the car.
Yeah.
And we drove up to like Wyandotte. It's been a long time since I've been up there.
Right.
And she's never been up. She didn't know what I was talking about. So, we just.
For those who don't know, like you're talking downriver as in like downriver Detroit. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like suburbs south of Detroit down to Detroit River.
Right.
Heads downriver.
Downriver. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, we just kind of hung out and like we went and got some lunch. Oh God, dude. This first place we went to is called the the Firehouse Pub because we were just looking for anything.
Yeah.
You know, we're both hungry. I had no plans because that's just how I roll.
Yeah.
Like, let's just park the car and find something.
Right.
So we park, start walking. We just hear music playing. Like,
It's funny when you say just park the car and we'll find something. I'm just picturing you rooting through trash cans and dumpsters.
Accurate.
This still has some cheese on it.
Like, this is great, guys.
Half a taco.
Hell yeah. Is that ground beef? But so, you know, we're walking up the block and there's music like 90s rock playing. I'm like, oh, this is promising. That huge patio, like hardly anyone was out on it. And it was in an old firehouse and like the door handle was a fire axe.
Okay.
I'm like, this place looks pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
So we walk in and we're like just staring at people. And they're like, oh, you just seat yourselves. We're like, okay, we're going to go outside. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We go outside.
By the way, it is super annoying when you go into a place and they don't have a fucking sign that says either please wait to be seated or please seat yourself.
Yeah, when you're just standing there awkwardly.
Yeah, like an asshole. It's like, well, do we go, you know, it's like you and I've been in places where, you know, like we're like, do we go order or do we go sit down? Does someone come to the like, you don't know what the hell's going on. It's like,
yeah,
I hate when you go into places like that, you know?
But so we go outside, and you know we try to strategically sit because you don't want to be too close to people.
Right? Did they have a fire pole to slide down anywhere?
That would have been dope. I didn't get a chance to really look around inside. You never know.
Oh, right. Like, you know, you have to go upstairs to go to the bathroom, but you get to slide down the pole, which would be totally gross. But you know, considering most people don't wash their hands.
Yeah, still worth it though.
Still worth it. Yeah.
So yeah, we sit down and it's like the table next to us are these young kids that are like vaping and shit.
Sure.
Right, and then this lady on the other side of us is, I don't know if she was like just Captain Cocaine over there. She was just on her feet talking on the phone, so animated.
Yeah.
And she had one of those electric like tennis racket fly swatters.
All right.
Right.
Where I thought you were going with that was when you said electric, I thought the next word out of your mouth would be blue and then some sort of alcohol in a bowl. That's where I thought you were going with that. Totally different direction.
And she, the whole time we were there, she's on the phone. And standing and walking around and
sure. So,
and then in the far corner, you just had like an old family. They're just trying to enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
But the whole time, the old family and the lady with the tennis racket, basically everyone is actively fighting hornets.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Because there's all these cups of like discarded mimosa, and they're flying.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like even to the point that when we first got there, a table of people like got up and went inside because they were so bad.
Sure. Yeah.
So we're sitting there, hornets flying at us. Oh, and by the way, the table where we had that was the most strategic to kind of be away from people.
Yeah.
Was right in front of a speaker that was super loud.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and the waitress comes out, and she's like, "I'll be right with you guys." We're like, "Okay." Sitting there, and she comes out and helps the crazy lady on the phone, like gives her takeout food.
Yeah, just to get her the hell out of here. Yeah.
And then she comes out and she says something to the people next to us who must have known people at work there or something. Then she goes back and it's been like 15, 20 minutes now.
Yeah. No drinks, no nothing, right?
Yeah, you haven't even talked to her besides.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm on my phone. I'm like, yeah, there's a place a block and a half away. I'm looking at the pictures. It has a patio. Let's go.
Peace out. Yep.
Yeah. Just deuced out of there.
Well, yeah. I mean, you were there long enough with no service. You got the Hornets situation.
Got the Hornets. Yeah, the Hornets situation was bad.
Yeah, I can see where. Yeah.
So we go to this place called Captain's, and they had a patio, and there was only like 2 tables out there, and they're both taken up. But they had the whole front of the restaurant had roll off doors. There was like a high top right there.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So we're like, all right. So we went with that. And as soon as we sat down, the waitress is on us. Hey, how you guys doing? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, I'm really sorry. For some reason, the bees are horrible today.
Oh, okay. See, I was actually going to make a joke. I'm like, you guys are walking up going, this place looks nice. There's a big sign that says now hornet free or something like that. Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, for some reason the Hornets were like on fire on Sunday.
That's weird. All right.
I know. Like my thought was they might know some shit we don't know, and they might be getting ready for winter.
Yeah. Or they're just assholes, you know.
Or they're just assholes.
They're just out for a Saturday, you know, like, or Sunday or whatever, you know. They're just out to have some fun.
But I gotta say, man, this place is dope. It was like I looked around inside the bar, and I'm like, if I lived in this area, this would probably be my spot because it was like a really cool bar. Had all this like old timey seafaring stuff everywhere. Had what I thought was really cool is along the bar they had advertisements for old like Wyandotte businesses from like the 1800s.
Oh wow, that's probably because the place has been around that long.
And it kind of felt like it almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And like I said, it was all like old brick and the big roll off doors. And I went out back, it had a huge patio, like outdoor
Nice.
bar, the whole situation. I'm like, this place is fucking cool. And then the food was great. And they had like, I don't know, 10 or 12 beer taps, you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is, and this, the staff was attentive.
Yeah. Right.
Like I even told the woman, I'm like, I want to thank you. She's like, for what? I'm like, because we were over at the Firehouse Pub and sat there for like 20 minutes and no one talked to us.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I've never been there. I'm like, yeah, don't. Just come. I know you work here, but come here.
Well, and that's the thing is from the way you described it too. It didn't like under normal circumstances. Like if they were slammed, it'd be one thing. But given, yeah, I was gonna say they for sure couldn't. I mean, unless you've got one server working the whole place, you know, in and out. That would be so freaking stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you go to Wyandotte, highly recommend Captain's. Really enjoyed it. Big fan.
But if you like Hornets, head over to the other place.
What?
I said, but if you like Hornets,
yeah.
head over to the other place.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to be a shit heel.
Yeah. That's got to really suck, though, you know, when a lot of people are wanting to eat outside or sit outside. You know, that's got to really suck having all them Hornets.
Oh, yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it. It was insane.
That would certainly be a deterrent for me. I mean, I'm not allergic or anything. I'd just be like, yeah, I don't really want to have to keep fighting off Hornets.
I mean, we had like one that kept bothering us when we were at Captain's, kept flying in the building because like Michelle got this Michigan cherry salad, so it had sweet, you know.
Oh yeah.
So it was just like, you know, I was about ready to just try to take the fucker out if I got stung in the hand, whatever.
You mean the salad, right? Not the Hornet.
Yeah.
Like fuck that salad.
Fuck the salad, knock it on the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was dope, and we just walked down. There was a big old park right on the river. Walked down to the river and watched all the morons fish. Some weird dude biked down, took his shirt off, was doing all these like weird stretches and shit. He looked like he woke up in an alley. I was like, what is going on?
Well, maybe
here?
he did. Maybe he's going down by the river. That's his bath, you know?
I mean, he looked like he needed it, so.
Be funny, like you see the dude just like strip down to his skivvies, dive in the water, and you're like, the fuck's this guy doing? He comes out and he's got like 5 fish in his hand, you know? You're like, huh.
Dude, there was one guy, I wish I could have got a picture of him. He was riding around on this like flat black Huffy, right? And this guy was probably in his 50s.
Perfect.
And he's got like a Starbucks, like looked like a fruity drink, like it was pink and like a pink Frappuccino looking thing.
Right. And
then his flat black Huffy had like big fucking ape hanger handlebars that were like taller than he was. So his one hand is like way up in the air and he's steering, and he's just got sunglasses on, just pedaling around.
Wow. So he looks like a toddler on his big brother's bike.
Yeah, it looks so crazy.
I'm a big boy.
Time, like, man, that guy's living the life right now.
Right.
It just looks so ridiculous.
I never understand those handlebars, whether they're on a motorcycle or a regular bike. Like, I don't know how those are comfortable. It seems like that would suck on your shoulders after a while.
I don't know either.
You know, having your arm way the hell up in the air like that for the whole time you're riding.
I'd have to ride a bike with them just to see what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Yeah, way up.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, like you said, you know, like, look, I'm an orangutan.
I mean, they're called ape hangers for a reason, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least they got it right.
Yeah,
At least they didn't call them, you know, monkey hangers or something, since they're, you know, apes don't have tails.
Yeah, there you go. I think the only mistake we really made is when we were leaving, directly across the street from where I parked was like a candy and ice cream store.
Oh boy.
You know, Michelle's like, oh yeah, we should go. I'm like, all right. I ended up getting like a little cup of ice cream. Which one was some banging ice cream? It was like, I can't remember. I think it was called like Detroit Fully Loaded or something.
Okay.
It was like, you know, chocolate ice cream with salted caramel, and it was.
I gotta
fucking
say,
sweet.
when it comes to something sounding appetizing, if you tell me it's Detroit Fully Loaded, I don't know if that really springs.
You're not
forth.
feeling it.
Like I'm not feeling like this is going to be a good experience.
Oh, dude, it was. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But boy, did I feel like death the rest of the day.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! Like driving home felt like garbage. Yeah, I felt like I even took Tums. Like I never have heartburn.
Yeah.
And I was fucked up.
Wow. I think the problem was you needed more of it.
I know. God no. I think I'll still having aftershocks today.
It's just a little Beatus flare, no big deal.
Oh my god, it was bad, but it was so good.
You're just tossing and turning in bed, and Wilford Brimley visits you in 3 forms over the night.
Yes, exactly.
Like, why are you all
Beatus future?
Why are you all from Wilford Brimley? Beatus. Like,
Beatus.
That's a good reason. All right.
Yeah, I've come to realize, like, I do like ice cream, but like I always get a small, and it's too much. I wish they had a like.
Is it just the ice cream?
Like a child size.
Well, they might actually if you ask.
Like I just all I need is like a couple spoonfuls. I just want to taste it.
Here's what you do: is you ask for a child size, and if they look at you funny, just be like, "I'm kind of lactose intolerant, so I can't have a lot."
You want me fucking up your picnic table out there?
Because I'm gonna sit on the table.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. But I would think that would, I think most people would be like, oh, okay, Not that it fucking matters. I mean, who cares what some schlep at whatever place thinks of you, but,
I mean, that's honestly all it is. I just want to taste it, have a couple spoonfuls and be done.
I've noticed as I've gotten older that I'm that way with a lot of sweets. There's still some sweets that I could sit down and just destroy, right? Like we talked about chocolate chip cookies, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But there's other stuff like ice cream and stuff. For the most part, I'm usually like, give me like a scoop of it. I'm good. Like, I just need that taste, and then I'm fine. I don't want like a bucket of ice cream,
Yeah, exactly. It's like I always order small, hoping for the best. It's always too much.
Well, that's the other thing too.
My inner piggy comes alive. I eat the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, and some of the places too, like when you order a small, give you a really big portion of ice cream.
Yes. Shout out to Toff's Creamery in Sandusky.
Yeah. There's a place right up the road a little ways here too, like an ice cream joint that does that. Like their small cone is huge. And I've seen like people, their kid will go up and be like, yeah, I want whatever. And they'll be like, oh, you can have a small. And the ice cream cone's like the size of the kid's head, and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
yeah, I kind of had that moment last night because I said she's been painting a lot. She did painting for one of her ex-coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
Like for her first commission, she was very excited.
Yes. Cool.
And so we met her, and we ended up talking to this woman for like an hour. And I still felt like death.
Sure.
So we're going home, and she's like, "I'm kind of hungry. Do you mind if we stop like some fast food place?" And I'm like, "That's fine. I'm not eating."
Really? I feel like you would have eaten.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll probably get something to drink.
Yeah.
So I ordered like a medium diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I thought you'd go for a milkshake. All right.
Yes. And so they hand me a cup, and I'm like, oh, this cup is pretty big. This must be my beverage. And then they hand out this like barrel. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's the medium?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
I know, dude, it is nuts how some of the places medium is seriously a large everywhere else.
Yeah.
And the weird part is a lot of the places scaled down their drinks for a while because, there were a lot of people that were, like, our children are getting fat, like all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And which is fine because Jesus Christ, I mean, you order a large and it is like, especially if you get it yourself, because, like me, I put like 2 pieces of ice in there and the rest is all drink. If they do it, it's like 3/4 ice and like 2 drops of drink, So it's like you're drinking like half a 2-liter of pop if you fill that cup yourself, most likely, or pretty close to it. That is a lot of pop.
Yeah.
Considering a can is 12 ounces, you're probably drinking near 3 cans of pop in one sitting. That's a lot to drink.
Right.
So it's like really nobody should want or need that much, but what are you going to do? It's America.
Like that was my thing. It's like, I'm thirsty. Let me just get a medium. It's like, be probably a little more than I want. Boy, was it.
Yeah, you'd have probably been good with a small,
Yeah, I should have, I should have taken my ice cream fucking rule and put it in effect there.
Well, you pretty much, if you would have taken like the cup your ice cream came in, it probably was a medium at that place, so.
Maybe,
Huh. Yeah,
good time.
Listen, and like I enjoy, pop. I don't drink anywhere near like I used to, but that's where I fall into a pit is when I go. Like one place I'm unapologetic about would be McDonald's because that Coke tastes so much better there. But
all right, McDonald's Coke.
Right. But anywhere else, it's like, why am I getting a large here? Why in the fuck do I get, like, I don't need this. I'm not going to put it in the fridge and, I'll just drink a little now. Fuck that. I'm drinking the whole thing because America. And, much like you with the ice cream,
right.
I'm not going to, plus I don't want it flat later. It's gross then.
Yeah, exactly.
The only way it's any good then.
What am I, a quitter?
Yeah, I was going to say, the only way it's any good then is if I pour some, like, cheap whiskey in it or something,
I mean, there's, thirsty kids overseas or something that don't get a chance to finish their beverages or whatever.
Yeah. Their mediums there are still tiny because, the people there are like, no, I don't need gallons of drink.
Yeah. Do I want gallons of drink? Probably. Don't need it.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was about the extent of my weekend there.
Yeah.
My dude.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's,
I have a question for you real quick, though.
Okay.
Just right quick.
All right.
Have you ever... Let me just talk about this T-shirt I saw on one of my coworkers.
I like how it went from being right quick to, all right, let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm walking into work the other day, and this dude's walking in front of me. He's got this black T-shirt on, and it's got just like really, really terribly drawn like skulls and shit all over it, and it looks like the skulls are screaming, and
Sure. Yeah.
there's like weird smoke coming out of the eyes and shit.
Right.
Okay, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then it's got like basically a paragraph of text on it as well.
Sure.
And it says, I know who I am and what I'm capable of. Don't push me to violence, for I will do unspeakable things for the ones I love.
Okay, is that a song lyric?
I don't know. I just want to know, like, one, who makes these shirts? Who sells these shirts? And for the love of God, who's buying these shirts?
Right. Good question. I don't know.
Because, like, I saw it, and I'm just like,
well, we know,
I like a good T-shirt.
We know who's buying them. I mean, it's those guys who walking around with their chests all puffy, thinking that they're hot shit. The same guys who bought.
Someone cuts me off of traffic, I'll fucking ram their head through a tree trunk.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what?
Yeah. They might as well just be walking around yelling the word testosterone,
But yeah, it's. I mean, like, I like a good T-shirt with a saying on it.
Yeah.
I like them as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
But I would never wear something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
One, it's too much reading.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I always kind of felt like
short and sweet.
I was just gonna say I like my T-shirts to be like billboards, right? Like I don't want you to have to stop in traffic to read the whole billboard,
Right.
Like I want you to, as you're going down the road, you should be able to kind of catch it as you're going by. Maybe 2 passes, maybe you miss a little something, but for the most part, you're gonna get it with 1 pass. So I'm the same way on T-shirts. It irritates me so much. Like, have you ever watched a TV show and somebody's got a shirt on and you're trying to read it, but they keep moving or the camera angle's weird and you're like, damn it, what does that shirt say?
Yeah,
right?
I was trying to figure this out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I've seen various videos or TV shows where somebody's doing that and I'm like, damn it, I want to know what or like the one that kills me is like when it's on somebody's like Instagram story, right? Because you can't like stop it. Like you can't hold on it I'm sorry, on Instagram you can hold it and pause it. On Snapchat's what I was meaning. Like on Snapchat, right. You can't, like if you hold it, it doesn't pause it. It just goes towards trying to get you to share.
Basically throws up middle finger emojis.
Yeah. So I'll see something. I'm like, damn it, what does that shirt say? And, because sometimes you see a cool shirt and be like, I kind of need that shirt. Like when I saw the Jurassic Park Send More Tourists shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody posted that on Twitter, and I was like, holy shit, where did you get that? And she was like, Hot Topic. And I'm like, what? So I immediately went to Hot Topic and bought it.
Meanwhile, you have shirts like the one I saw.
Yes.
That no one wants.
Right.
All I know is he will do unspeakable things.
Unspeakable things, which probably just means, like, puts his thumb in your butt.
Exactly. Butt play.
Yeah.
He just doesn't speak about it.
That's just his move. You're like, what do you get away from my ass?
Yeah. Like, Jesus. He's like, oil check.
Yeah. Calm down. I'm trying to de-escalate. What the hell?
I don't know. It's just shit's weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too bad because there's plenty of good T-shirts out there, So like,
there's so many good T-shirts out there.
Why wear bad T-shirts when there's so many good ones?
Yeah.
This isn't like when we were youths to where the only way to get the cool, like comic book T-shirts that everybody's wearing now is you actually had to go to a comic book shop to buy them and hope they had your size or could order it.
Right.
Until
you can just get them off the internets now.
Yeah, you can get them everywhere now. Hell, you can walk into Walmart and buy them. Walmart and Target have an Old Navy. Hell, a few of my shirts that I wear, the Spider-Man and Batman shirts that I have, almost all of them are from like Old Navy or places like that. They're not even from comic shops anymore.
Yeah, as much as the fact I love that they do that, I really wish they wouldn't do the like band shirts. Because I don't need to see some 14-year-old kid walking around with like a Kiss shirt on.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the kid actually likes Kiss, but I'm guessing he probably just like, oh, this is a cool band that people used to like, man.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it stands for Knights in Satan's Service. It's really cool.
Dude, how many teenagers do you think actually know that or have that bit of trivia in their database?
None.
Yeah. I was like,
they have none.
Most people our age probably don't even have that.
Yeah, I'm just special.
Right. And since I have the opportunity, I'd just like to say fuck Gene Simmons. But anyway, carrying on.
There you go. Carry on. Carry on, man.
Wow, that's not where I thought you were going. I thought it was going to be a Carry On My Wayward Son, but all right.
I mean, it kind of was like more in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You surprised me. You mixed it up there because I figured you'd go for the low hanging fruit, And,
I mean, I usually do.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Right. Ass play. Yeah.
Yeah. No. De-escalation.
Yeah. De-escalation. Fuck. Oh man. Well, speaking of ass play.
All right.
So guess what I found on CBS All Access?
Ass play? The Dukes of Anal 2.
No, they only have 3 and 6 for some reason.
Oh, very disappointing.
And we all know 5 is the best one, but
5's the high point,
right? It's called the whole fist.
Yes.
No, Beavis and Butthead. They have some of the Mike Judge collection on there.
Oh, really?
Now, here's some weird stuff about it.
All right, I'm in.
One, of course, there's none of the music video parts.
I would have turned off immediately.
Because it's from the Mike Judge collection, which was released on DVD, and they didn't have the rights, and blah, blah, blah.
Ooh.
Ooh. So that is kind of weird that those, because, those were in between the actual episodes of the show, basically.
Yeah.
And they're not there, so it's kind of weird, but
I mean, I have to say, as much as I love Beavis and Butthead, the music videos are probably the highlight.
Yeah, those were I like that stuff the most. But
yeah,
it's really interesting watching the show now and hearing the voices on there, and not realizing that at the time that Anderson, their neighbor, was basically is Hank Hill.
Yo, for sure.
You know,
yeah,
like
Hank Hill.
I honestly haven't watched Beavis and Butthead since we watched it back in the day, basically. So,
right,
you know, but it's been
those boys are whacking off in my tool shit again. I think that's what he said. Been a while.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. But it's it's been a mostly fun watch. You know, some of the episodes are but
yeah. Not everything holds up.
Right. But there's still stuff that, like pretty much any of the, like I just watched the one last night where Beavis is at work and they basically have Jolt, but it's called Volt Cola.
Oh, right.
And Beavis turns into Cornholio, of course, because he drinks too much of it. And like immigration shows up and he ends up getting deported. They think he's Mexican, and because he keeps calling himself Cornholio, and of course referring to the mighty bunghole, and
yeah, he's basically talks gibberish most of the time,
right? Telling him he's from Lake Titicaca, which is in Nicaragua. Oh fuck! Like that. Honestly, like going back and watching it, it was like that. That ends up being that, and the one where he tries or I can't remember if it's cappuccino or what it is for the first time. And of course, again, caffeine makes him, become Cornholio.
Transform.
And he's doing like, they're at like a spoken word poetry place. And he's just up there just doing his Cornholio shtick. And the crowd is going crazy for it. Like he's some undiscovered talent or whatever. It was pretty funny. But,
I mean, people shit on that show, but it's good stuff.
Right.
Yeah. That was considered very lowbrow humor.
Oh, it totally is. And there's stuff on there that's, wouldn't so much be okay, obviously. It wasn't okay really then, but,
yeah, but you get away with it then.
Yeah. Well, like they go in, they're in a gas station and they get, what is it? I can't remember what it is. Basically, it's something that, it says women can't resist you kind of a thing. And they're essentially trying to
Sex Panther.
No. Well, yes, but no. But they're trying to dose, girls at school with it basically. And it's like, yeah, that's totally not okay, and whatever.
What do you mean, Brian?
Yeah. Like, but yeah, anyway. But yeah, I forgot how much the principal cracks me up because just the voice that is done for him, I can't even.
God, I can't remember.
You'd have to, you'd have to watch it because I can't even do it. So, but he just sounds like he's like overly constipated, but he just gets great joy in threatening Beavis and Butthead and stuff. Kind of like the coach does too, but
right,
the principal even more so. And how David Spade actually does the voice of a guy that's on the show. I forgot what he was on there for. And basically, he gets pissed at Beavis and he grabs him, and Beavis is like, "He's touching me!" and the guy loses his job because he's touching a child. It's so wrong, but then later on he comes back for like a school fundraiser. Because he's the guy in charge of distributing the chocolates to the kids, and basically the same thing happens. He gets really pissed and he grabs Beavis, and Beavis is, like, "He's touching me." So, but yeah,
classic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have CBS All Access. Is that a free situation?
No, it's not. I keep like had gotten rid of it. And then I got it again because I wanted to watch that Star Trek Lower Decks.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, well, I have it, so I'll just have a look-see to see what else is on there. Which, for anyone, if for some reason, if you want to watch Avatar Legend of Korra, those are also on there.
Oh, very nice.
I mean, they're on Netflix, but they're also on CBS All Access. So if you don't have Netflix and don't want it,
that little select crew people are like, CBS, yay, Netflix.
yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I can't imagine who you are, but if you exist, here you go.
That weird secluded tribe
right.
in the middle of Kansas.
And they've got a few. I was just going through the comedies the other day, and they've got a few shows like Kroll Show, Chappelle Show, Reno 911's on there. Yeah, stuff like that. So there's some other decent stuff on there.
Nice.
But yeah, as I was flipping through and I saw Beavis and Butthead, and I was like, all right. And then I was like, oh, damn it. Because as soon as I saw the Mike Judge thing, I was like, damn it, that means it's the no music videos.
Yeah. And
it's not all the episodes. Like, I'm in the 3rd season, but I think there's only 10 episodes per season.
Right.
So, I still got a little ways to go in this season, but I'm pretty much, I'll be done with it pretty soon. Which is, a little disappointing because I would like to see more of it.
I kind of want to see if it's on any of the platforms I have, maybe.
I don't know if it is. I don't think it is. I think it's only on there, but I don't know for sure. It might be. What I'm hoping, what would be nice is if, since Comedy Central is bringing it back, is if Comedy Central could start re-airing it. But again, with the music video parts, I don't know how the rights on that work.
Right.
I don't know if they would have to get those rights again or, because if so, then they absolutely won't do it. It's kind of like listening to the Scrubs podcast or the Fake Doctors, Real Friends is the name of it.
Right.
They talk about countless times on the episodes. The songs that were picked out for the episodes were on purpose because they create a certain mood or they're very relevant to the storyline. And when you watch it on Hulu, they couldn't use most of those songs because they didn't have the rights for digital distribution. So they replaced them with other songs. So the mood is weird. I've watched a couple episodes on there and I'm like that. And now I'm like, that's why things felt different when I watched it the second time. Cause I watched it when it was on TV. Originally, I watched most of the episodes. And then when I rewatched it through Hulu, I was like, now that explains why things feel weird, when I'm watching them.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the vibe's all off,
right.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's, it's really unfortunate that you would think maybe MTV would still have the rights because I would think they would still be able to play their music videos, but I don't know how that shit works. It's been so long.
Right, exactly. I don't know if they have a 10-year window or a whatever. I don't know how those contracts all worked at the time. So, it's who knows?
Those are some of my favorite moments. Them watching those stupid music videos.
Yeah. Exactly.
Some of them are on YouTube.
Right. Well,
I watched one because oddly enough, I was talking about Beavis and Butthead a month ago, and so just out of curiosity, I looked on YouTube and they had Beavis and Butthead listen to "A Love" by Pantera.
Yeah.
And it just Butthead going, "Why are you so angry, Pantera?"
Yeah.
Just cracks me. I don't know. I kind of missed that show.
Right. I know that's the part of it that I was missing quite a bit too. And I'm curious, with the Comedy Central thing, because Comedy Central isn't, known for music. So I'm curious to see if they have that in there or if they're just doing it without that part of it or what.
Yeah, I have.
Or maybe they'll watch comedies instead or something.
I don't know if that's the same.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? I haven't even seen anything recently saying when that's gonna happen. For sure. So, well, it's I assume it's gonna happen because they bought. What did I say before? I think it was 2 years worth of episodes. So,
right.
At least
feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say there must be some decent pitch. I mean, Mike Judge has had a pretty good track record, especially Comedy Central has done pretty well with him because they've aired Office Space a million times, and I know at one point they had King of the Hill on there, which at some point I think I don't think I've ever watched the whole run of that, so at some point I'm gonna dive into that because I think when it was on originally I didn't think it was that funny, but I've watched it since and realized how funny it really is. You know,
I mean, yeah, I always enjoyed the old King of the Hill.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think I may have to do that at some point. But there's 10 million other other things to watch.
Yeah, there's so much stuff to watch.
Right. And play and podcast to listen to and music I want to get to.
Yeah.
So much to consume.
Yeah, so much is right.
So I figured it out. If anyone ever asks me again what like superpower or like video game power I would ever want, essentially I need to have like Kirby's power. So I can just basically consume everything.
I mean, that's a pretty cool power.
Right. That's otherwise there's no hope for me. I don't know.
I mean, what a horrifying death for whoever gets sucked into Kirby's gut, though.
Hey, whatever
Just saying.
Yeah. There's acceptable costs.
Indeed.
I guess.
Indeed.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's basically been what I've been watching this week. I mean, other than it was weird, WWE had a pay-per-view 2 weeks in a row. Because they had SummerSlam, not yesterday, but the week, the Sunday before, and then they always have a pay-per-view called Payback, which usually is mostly rematches from whatever pay-per-view was before it, kind of to further the stories. But this year it was the week after, and surprisingly, it actually was I thought it was pretty good. Like, usually it's kind of predictable because, depending on where the storyline's at, you can kind of figure out what's going to happen and whatever. But it was actually, I thought they actually did a really good job. I don't know if you've heard about what WWE's doing now. They have the Amway, or whatever it's called. I forgot. It's an arena in Orlando that the Magic play in, the basketball team. And they have it essentially rented out. And they're calling it the Thunderdome, which I'm surprised they didn't call it something more. I feel like that's something they'd have a hard time copyrighting or trademarking. Think, right? Yeah, so that's weird. Usually WWE wants to own everything they put out, name-wise.
Right.
But anyway, what they've done is they have screens all over the arena, basically. And then they have people via Zoom on the screen, so it looks like there's kind of like a crowd there. And and I'll tell you, they went from having just a few other wrestlers at like ringside and stuff to this, and it looks so different. Like, it felt like SummerSlam felt like it was, actually in an arena with a lot of people. It didn't just feel like it was, like, oh, there's like 15 wrestlers there kind of thing, So
right.
It kind of helped add to the big feel of, SummerSlam's always been one of the big four, one of the really big pay-per-views of theirs. It's their second WrestleMania, basically.
Right, for sure.
So, yeah, that really helped. But the only thing I'm afraid of, though, is like all their shows, basically, except NXT, are going through that now. So it's going to feel the same.
People on Zoom on screens?
Yeah.
So can you zoom into the event and watch it?
No. Well, what you do is you can connect to their room. Like, you have to, like, they have a website you can go to apply to be picked or whatever. And they have a whole list of rules of things you can't do. And, but then your face will just show on one, not just one, as me and Fluffy Bunny Ash now have noticed, like, you can see a repeat occasionally. So
it's like playing sports games on PS2.
Yes, exactly. It very much is. To where every like fifth person, you're like, isn't that the guy that was over there?
Yeah, that's the dude with that weird mustache.
Yeah. Like, okay. Oh, there he is again, 2 rows back to the right. Yeah.
Yeah. That is an interesting idea.
Yeah. It worked.
I kind of like that better than the stuffed bears and cardboard cutouts and Yeah, I mean the only thing that tops it still is that South Korean team or whatever with the sex dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the cutouts at some of the, especially at the baseball stadiums, have been pretty funny. Like there's been various movie characters and different stuff that have been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean I do appreciate that.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so it's really helped it kind of feel a little more air quote normal. You know, like I said, the only problem I have is that SummerSlam and Payback basically looked the same. Then, like, tonight you would have Monday Night Raw. It's going to look the same. Then SmackDown's going to look essentially the same, other than the ring apron. And it's like, I'm afraid that what I feel like they should have done was only have the pay-per-views at the Thunderdome, you know?
So it's kind of like UFC's Fight Island or whatever they got going on, huh?
Right. Like I said, it works. It looks good. I like it, and I don't know exactly how they're doing the crowd noise because they're not giving audio to the people. I don't know if they have some.
I'm sure it's just pumped in like the baseball game.
Yeah, it's probably just pumped in.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of nice to actually have, like, there's no, like, on one hand, I don't miss the chants at all, or the crowd doing the what, that kind of shit. I don't miss those things, but at the same time, you do kind of miss every once in a while, the crowd will get going on something, and it's really funny or entertaining.
Right.
Or you just get that visceral reaction, like when someone turns heel and the crowd, starts yelling asshole or
yeah, right.
Or you suck or whatever. So I don't know. But so anyway, but that's taken up, a decent amount of time having 2 pay-per-views in 2 weeks. Actually, they had 3 because they had an NXT event the night before SummerSlam. Then SummerSlam.
I think it's interesting how they're using screens. It's fun watching these businesses try to figure out how they can be normal-ish.
Yeah. And now, like, AEW, I think, is doing, like, pods of people, like, where they're allowing, like, fans, I think, back in. But you can, it's only, like, so many every so many feet kind of a thing. I haven't watched it, so I don't know how well that's working, but I've read pretty, favorable reviews for that, too. I think a lot of it's just, even as fans, it's like you miss the crowd because the crowd, I mean, the crowd adds to it. It's like watching a concert with no crowd. It's like you miss those moments where, like, the crowd sings back to the singer or the band or whatever. You just can't have those things, but that's where we are right now. It's just not how it's going to be for a little while, but this does help it feel a little more like normal.
It's like over the weekend they had that drive-in Metallica concert. And a guy I work with went. He said it was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
He liked it.
Were tickets like $100?
Yeah.
Fuck that, man.
It was $100 a car.
Whoa. Well, you know what? That's not so bad because if you put 4 or 5 people in a car,
and it was limited to 6 people a car.
Okay, that's still okay though. If you go anywhere from 4 to 6 people, hell, even 3, $30 to see a Metallica concert.
There was 4 people in the car.
Yeah, I can live with that.
It.
Yeah,
but my issue with it is like I went and saw the Metallica S&M show in the theaters. Last winter or whatever, whenever they did S&M 2.
Right.
And it was slightly above movie ticket price.
Right.
Now, like, say Michelle and I wanted to go see this drive-in concert, that would have been $50 a person.
Right.
For basically the same experience.
Yeah, exactly. Which is understandable.
It's not
I can
like
see
Metallica's there.
Right. Not like the Bert Kreischer stand-ups where he's actually in the town. Yeah.
And I've heard some bands are starting to do that kind of stuff now.
Yeah.
Now, if there was an actual concert at the drive-in I could take my car to, and then they also put it on the big screen, I would be interested in that.
I'll tell you what, going forward, I think this concept is something that we might see used more frequently so bands don't have to travel as much.
Yeah.
Plus, think of it this way, right? Okay, so say Metallica's playing fill-in-the-blank place. Like, let's say they're playing Detroit, right? they're going to sell out, but there's still people that in Toledo, blah, 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 and north that can't get tickets, and they're not going to be playing another city. I mean, like here, they'd play probably Cleveland or Columbus, but you know what I'm saying? Like in some places, they might not play another city in that state.
Right.
If you could go to a drive-in and be part of the concert for less money, maybe, not full-on ticket price, but like you know, like for a car, if it was $50 for a car or something, you know, I could see a lot of people doing that, and then they could almost double the amount of cities that they're hitting in one freaking night.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right that the streaming concert situation, I think, is going to take off.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because,
And really,
I mean,
it's
also
smart.
Some people
you know?
don't want to go to a concert because they love the band, but there's
anxiety, if nothing
15,000 people
right.
in an arena. They don't want to deal with it.
Yep. Because, I mean, there is that, you know, like I love going to live shows. Like, Metallica's near here. I'm all for it. Let's go. But there's also it's going to take us like 2 hours to get out of that parking lot.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be, like you said, 10, 15,000 people there because they play arenas or they play, baseball stadiums. They don't play, 500 seaters, where we can get out of there easy.
Yeah, exactly.
And they play big cities generally, so there's going to be a lot of traffic anyway, plus whatever traffic is from the concert.
Well, I mean, I think you're right. I think more people are going to embrace it, even if they can actually do real concerts, around the corner.
Yeah. Well, also, I think it essentially could put, on one hand, less wear and tear on the band. Because instead of having to go city to city to city to city, they could sit in one city, play a second show that's only shown on drive-ins or something to that effect. Or, like they could space the tour differently in ways. And I think there's a lot of stuff like that I think is going to happen going forward that, like, for now it's kind of necessity. But after if things get to a normal sense again, I could see them taking a step back, or maybe not even bands like Metallica, but maybe bands that are like that next level down to where it would cost a shit ton of money to tour. You could maybe, I mean, I know this is not a cheap alternative, so you'd still need a bigger band on the marquee, but I don't know. I think there is a potential for this, and it still could be something fun and entertaining for people to go to, because like you were saying with the Metallica thing, like if you were like, hey, Brian, do you want to go with me and Michelle to see blah, blah, blah? It'll be like $35 for a ticket. I'd be like, yeah, I'm in, because that's not horrible. I'd totally be down for that.
I mean, yeah, and it'd be sneaking in beer and everything else.
I mean, yeah, like you said, it's not the same as seeing them, but at the same time, it kind of is. Because,
see, that was my...
Because we're not going to buy close tickets. Yeah.
And I saw how expensive it was. I'm like, I can't justify that.
Yeah.
If it was a little cheaper, or if I had more people interested.
Yeah. But like if we go see them, like if they're at Comerica Park like they were last time, those tickets were like $100 to start. And that was for the bleeds. Like, all the way up and back. Yeah. So basically if we're sitting there, we're not watching the band anyway. We're watching the giant LED screen.
That's true.
So it's like if you're going to buy bleed tickets, this is actually a bargain to some extent. Although the worst part would be that you don't know for sure. I mean, you really wouldn't know for sure that they're playing live anywhere.
No.
They could completely pre-record the whole thing.
Like, oh, yeah, we're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
It's just on its play.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like when those sick-ass DJs put out their, like 8-hour dance thing everyone's doing ecstasy to, and they're just like the whole board's unplugged.
Yeah.
If they plugged into their laptop.
Right. But I guess at the end of the day, if everyone has a good time, who cares, right? I mean, it's
true.
That's why I said I think there's an option there. And a lot of people have been bitching about, first of all, not being able to get tickets because these concerts are selling out. Or here's a great example, right? Rage Against the Machine was supposed to tour this summer with Run the Jewels, right? They were only doing a handful of shows.
Yeah.
Those tickets sold out mad fast.
Well, stupid expensive.
What if they were like, hey, we're now going to add this to it to where now you can go blah, blah, blah. Tickets are $100, $125 per car. You know what I mean? Like now their revenue could blow up too. And it still gives us the opportunity to go see them and Run the Jewels, kind of,
Kind of. Yeah.
I mean, I'd still be in for that.
Yeah.
Unless the price got to, like, if it's even with seeing them actually being in the arena, then no, I would have a problem with that. If it's cheaper, if we could get the price down, then I'm in,
Right.
But yeah, if it was like $400 per car, I'd be like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could say, because the benefit you have with the drive-in is it's almost like a concert because everyone is there for the same thing.
Right.
Like if they're like, hey, we're going to stream this out to drive-ins, and if you want, you can pay X amount for pay-per-view. And it's like, I wouldn't want to just sit on my couch and watch a concert like that. Like I could pull up 50 old Metallica concerts on YouTube.
Well, hell, Metallica's been putting up one a week for the last, I don't know how many weeks on their Facebook or whatever.
Exactly. And I put, like, sometimes on house cleaning, I just pull up a Metallica concert and just let it go.
Yep.
So it's like, I would be more inclined to go to a drive-in for that experience than I would just sit at home.
Right.
Just because everyone's there for Metallica.
Yeah. Or even
I'm sure
if
there's going to be some tailgating, there'll be some nuttiness happening.
I think it adds, I think there's potential, like you were just getting at, like there's a potential for a different type of camaraderie. Because, and I'm talking like post-COVID, like if we all get to where we can actually be around each other again. And I'm not saying, bumper to bumper kind of car situation, like still spaced out a little bit to where people maybe even could get out of their car a little bit, like you said, tailgate, talk with people around you before and after kind of a thing. I think it could be a lot of fun, like a concert, without some of the stress of the concert,
Right.
But like I said, as long as the price is lower, because yes, we're watching the same show, but you are actually there, there is that difference kind of a thing. So I don't want to pay the same money. But if they can keep one level of it lower, I think there's something to that. And I think it could benefit comedians a lot too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because like if they're wanting to do bigger shows, I think they could really beam that into different. Hell, you could still sell 400 or 500 seat theaters.
Yeah.
Just put a big screen in there and have people come in and watch it, similar to like watching a movie or whatever. Like, hey, here's my new whatever. And if for big comedians, of course, like small comedians, unless it's a festival concept, it would be hard to do. But
right
people like old Billy Redface would probably do all right with it, or Kevin Hart or somebody like that would have no problem. But Kevin Hart just releases it straight into the theater. He doesn't even need the other.
He doesn't need.
He's so big. Except he isn't. But
I get it. Hi-oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is I really do think it's a cool idea, especially the more I've heard Bert Kreischer talk about what he was doing.
Oh, what he's doing, I think is cool.
I think what he's doing is really cool. But I think, and he's even kind of talked about it. I don't think what he's doing will exist afterward because I think it's too cost prohibitive.
Right.
Because he's doing it in the exact city. He's standing.
Yeah, like they put up a stage at the drive-in.
Right. And then on the giant screen, similar to going to a concert, though, which is behind them. They have a giant screen so you can watch what's going on. And that's basically what you're doing is he's there, but you're watching it on the screen because he's a little tiny, thing moving around.
But I really like his idea, though.
Yeah, I do, too. That's my favorite, but I think in order for that to exist, I think the price of the tickets would probably have to go way up. Because he even talked about how he's making money, but he's not making a lot of money on this tour. But part of it is also because of the COVID aspect of it. That they're trying, because like he mentioned on one of their newer podcasts, I don't know if you've heard it or not, but he mentions that he's stressing to everyone that's there, like, we have to be super careful because if one of us gets it, it's all shut down. Yeah. So, that's obviously the danger of it is that.
Oh, for sure.
Whereas the other way, you could put him in a room, isolate him. He could still do his stand-up even if he was testing positive for COVID. I mean,
that's true.
You just put people way away from him, and so no one's really at risk per se.
I think that's the only thing that's like good about what he's doing is he can still kind of, in a weird way, probably feed off the energy of the crowd.
Yeah, he talked about that a little bit,
Because as opposed to being in like a sound booth where you're just like,
Yeah, like I saw Ron Funches posted on his Instagram that, he's got an upcoming streaming special, kind of like a live thing that he's doing. And I'm like, God, that's gotta be so weird though. Like doing stand up with no, like last night was the MTV VMAs. That has to be so weird for those musicians to get up on a stage and perform, and there's nobody out there really.
Yeah, it's true.
Like there's no energy getting thrown back at you. There's no, same with like comedy, like the late night shows, that's why a lot of them weren't doing live shows from the studio. They were all doing them from home because, well, cost first of all, but also it's like, God, can you imagine getting up there doing your stand-up act with nobody in the crowd?
Exactly.
Although in fairness, I guess if you've done stand-up, you've done stand-up to nobody before.
True. Because
there's no way you just started with a huge crowd, unless you got stupid lucky somewhere.
Yeah.
There's probably people leaving while you're performing and
yeah, you stink.
Yeah. Or like pro wrestlers, they put on the same show in front of 4 people that they put on in front of like 1,500 or 20,000 people, because like we talked to it was Jonathan Diener. Remember when we had him on the show? And we talked to him about that because I was like, do you put on the same show for like 4 people that you put on for? And he was like, you have to. Like, you just go out and play for yourself, basically.
I mean, fair enough, right?
Yeah. Actually, speaking of, he's got a gimmick going on over at a Kickstarter. I'll stammer my way through whatever while pulling it up, unless you have something you can kind of throw in here to fill some space till I find it.
I do, Brian.
Sweet.
I thought this was kind of amazing and such.
Seamless transitions, what we're known for.
I mean, we all know about Master P. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's putting out a line of food that aims to support black communities and offer jobs.
Oh, really?
His whole intention is to replace like Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
And he's coming out with Uncle P's Louisiana seasoned white rice, and then there's other products.
I'm not gonna lie, I like Uncle P's. That's good. I like it.
And it's just like it's like the packaging is just like him with his arms crossed. He's got a chef coat on, just says Master P, and he's wearing sunglasses.
Oh, that's so good. See, I dig that because like I saw some people that were obviously we're not gonna get into the whole Aunt Jemima bullshit again, but like people that were bitchy about that, and I'm like, all I gotta do is just change it and just put somebody current on there and just make it non-offensive. Like it can still be a black person on the package. It just can't be called Aunt Jemima.
Right.
That's all. We just have to have some sort of, something that's not racially founded, and it'll be okay. And he's proof of that, right? Like he's like, hey, look,
Exactly. And it says a portion, which, whenever you hear someone say a portion, it could be 0.01%.
Yeah.
But it says a portion of the profits from Uncle P's is going to go to educating inner city kids, assisting elderly black, people in the black communities.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be, the products are going to go to basically like reinvigorate real estate in black neighborhoods and whatnot.
Okay. I can get behind
that.
Which
is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get behind it. And I mean,
good on him. Listen, even if it is only 0.00001%, at least it's something, I mean, could it be more? Who knows? But I do appreciate anyone trying.
Oh, shit. I just realized at the very top of the box it says there's no limit to success.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's nice.
That's so good. I actually...
So what I do know is if I go to a grocery store, I'm like, man, I'm making some like red beans and rice or some, some jambalaya or something.
Right.
And I see Zatarans and I look over there and I see Uncle P's. I'm probably grabbing Uncle P's.
I'm not going to lie. I do buy... As much as I know I should just do it myself, I do buy the Zatarans red beans and rice occasionally.
Oh yeah.
And I'm with you. If I see Uncle P's, I might grab it. And if I do, you can bet your ass there'll be a picture of it posted.
I can't wait.
No, that's cool though. we need more of this shit anyway. And you know, he's always been kind of. I mean, there's nothing. If nothing else can be said about the guy, he's done very well in business. You know.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Dude has made a lot of money for himself and a lot of other people. But you know, I actually think I was watching Martin on BET one night. And I don't know if it was on BET or something else, but they were supposed to be like a kind of a documentary about him.
Oh, really?
And stuff. And I was like, you know, I kind of want to watch this because it's a good story. You know, I mean, maybe it's not all good, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a guy who went from nothing to a lot.
Rags to riches.
Yeah.
I mean, started from the bottom, now we're here.
Wrong guy, dude. Wrong guy.
Like Drake would say.
Right. Nice save. All right, so I found I pulled up Jono's Twitter here, and he can be found on Twitter at Jono Jono Diener Diener. I'll put his at in the show notes. Actually, I'll put the link for his Kickstarter in the show notes. And he's got a comic coming out called The Inevitables, and they've got they're raising money for it and whatnot at the time. So go check him out on our past episode of The Enthusiasts. And,
nice.
if you can throw him a couple bucks, maybe do, or if not, maybe at least retweet it, help a brother out. Also, they got, I don't know where the link for that is. I'd have to find, I can go to their Twitter, but, loved band of the show, Braided Veins.
Nice.
I think he said there's supposed to be some, like, a limited edition vinyl coming out.
That's cool.
Is like really limited. Like I feel like I
the language pod only.
That'd be kind of cool, right? Like, we
right.
have the Salty Language Braided Veins
nice.
album. I don't think we're that big, my friend.
No, I don't think. I mean, just in our heads.
Right. Oh, also, if anybody's on Twitter, if you want to, Manscaped, like a week or so, was like, hey, what podcast should we sponsor? To bombard them with like our name. Because I'd be more than happy to push Manscaped.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly,
absolutely.
I'm pretty much fine pushing anything as long as it doesn't conflict with our morals,
Yeah,
or
I'll
ethics,
trim my
I should
hedges
say.
with a Manscaped, whatever.
I'll trim something with them, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Every week we'll be like, hey, Manscaped this and cool
Manscaped
balls.
that.
Use the ball refresher and whatever. Lawnmower 3. Oh, see, I already got the.
Exactly.
I already know what the fuck's going on.
Oh yeah, you do.
Word. But
excellent work, Brian.
Yeah, I do what I can. Not really. I don't do a whole lot. But anyway, I just happened to see it the one day, and it was like a podcast that we should, sponsor. So of course I was like, Salty Language from our account, of course, because
of course
that's what we do. Okay, here we go real quick. I pulled up Braided Veins' site. They're going to have a very limited, as in 25 copies of a...
25?
Yep, 25 of a vinyl of theirs.
Jesus.
Yep.
That's pretty limited.
That's what I'm saying. There's, and I'll throw a link to... that stuff in the show notes also, because first of all, if you dig the rock and or roll music, go check them out. They're pretty banging.
Yeah, for sure. Good, clean fun.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen them 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah, it's good.
And if it wasn't for COVID, we'd probably have seen them once or twice more, because they play, since they're from Flint, they're from right around
play
here.
in our area, quite on the reg.
There'd be a good chance they'd have played in Detroit, and we have gone and seen them again by now.
Right, exactly. I was actually thinking about that yesterday when I was up in Wyandotte. We weren't too far from we saw them that one day. I was thinking about that dope-ass brewery we went to. They served Flights on Records.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
That sandwich you had to, in that dip cup you had to climb into.
Oh, my God. I was going to bathe in that like it was my life. This is amazing, boys.
I still would. I don't know.
Right?
Or that gigantic Italian sandwich I got.
That place is legit.
Yeah. We should definitely hit that place again. Right? I was thinking that too.
I think it's like wood something brew. I don't know. I'll be able to find it.
I was going to say we could definitely find it because it's.
Don't you worry.
If nothing else, we just head that way and we look for that street that's got all those like. Remember how all the windows had those like lights around them?
Like the crazy lights
on like every road up there, or every building for like a long stretch, which was weird.
Well, oddly enough, I know it's not that far from where Festival used to be.
Yeah.
Because there was earlier in the summer, I was like, "Hey, gang, let's go up to, with Leah and all that." And I was like, "Let's go to One Eye Betty's for lunch," just because I want to.
Yeah, the food always looks amazing on their Instagram.
We got up there and it was so packed, and the wait was like 45 minutes. I was like, "Fuck."
I don't doubt it because it's not a huge place, and they, like I said, the stuff looks legit, and there's really not a lot else in that area.
Right.
So there.
We found something else, but when we were walking back to the car, I looked across the street and I was like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "There's that brewery that Brian and I went to, and right next to it's that concert, that like weird ass concert venue."
That brewery that my weird beer sense was tingling as we were going by at high speed, and I'm like, "Hey, there's a brewery."
Yeah, I about like rolled the car trying to get into it.
That was funny. It was we were going whatever speed, and I just happened to barely even see it, and was like, "Brewery."
Yeah, you're like spider sense was tingling for sure.
Like you said, he busted Yui, rolled us over about 12 times.
Yeah,
we
like
fit
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Yep. I was thinking cross between that or Blues Brothers parking, but either way.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Can't go wrong on either of those.
No, not at all.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, my sinuses are a freaking mess with this silly weather we're having.
Yeah, I hear you. Mine's been all jagged up.
I don't really want to bitch about the weather because, I mean, a gigantic fucking hurricane just crushed the South. So I'd rather, not trying to compare it as a horrible thing, but, we went from like 90 to like 70 in a matter of a day and no humidity.
I'm just happy it's not hot anymore.
Yeah, and humid also. That humidity going away, man, it's made it nice. Although we're at a weird part of the year again, and this happens every spring and fall, that I need it to be really cool to sleep. And the problem is that everybody else is comfortable. Like when it hits 70 outside, for like sleeping weather, a lot of people are like, "Man, this is great. I can open the windows and derp-a-der, And I'm like, "No, this is still too hot for me." Like this is when I need the AC and nobody else wants it on, kind of a thing, because, they'll freeze. Whereas I'm still like on fire.
I'm still warm, y'all.
Yeah. So it kind of sucks. Riding in cars this kind of time of year can kind of do that too, because, especially as it gets later in the day, because before too long here, we're going to start dropping into the 60s and 50s regularly at night. Right. And, so if you're rolling at like 9, 10 o'clock at night, it's like 50, 55 degrees, which is great for me. I'd have the windows down. I'd be like, "Yeah, let's do this," and everybody else is like shivering. So yeah, it gets to be a weird time of year because like you said, everybody around here starts pulling out their hoodies and all this shit, and I'm still rocking shirts, and t-shirts, and shorts.
Yeah, I was sitting outside last night watching dog run around the yard in a hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah, hoodie and shorts,
Yeah.
Like, oh boy, here we go.
Meanwhile, I'd be dying in a hoodie, even if I still. I'd be like, this thing's got to come off. So yeah, because I usually don't bust out my hoodies until it gets closer to like low 50s or high 40s. Then it's like, all right, I'll at least start taking it with me.
Yeah, have it in the car,
right?
Just in case,
right? And it's like, okay, it's later. Like I said, when it drops. To where it's like, okay, there's no sun out, so it's colder,
Right.
But until then, I'm like, nah.
Yeah, we good, bro.
T-shirts and shorts, baby.
Babe.
Speaking of, this is going to be, no one will give a shit. But do you remember a long time ago how we had our conversation about flex fabric and jeans and how it's the greatest thing ever for guys? And I'm sure, women already knew it because they already had it.
Yeah, they're way ahead of us in this area.
On that part of things, yes. I mean, we still have all the giant pockets, so I think in the end we win. But
pretty sure you're right.
Yeah. I got some shorts that have that in it, and man, I just had plain like khaki shorts that I was wearing before because I ain't trying to rock jorts, and
Unless they're cut up awful high.
Right. And, I've been trying to, get out of the, cargo shorts thing.
Right.
I have, one pair left, I think. And, I got these shorts that are kind of this dark gray, kind of looking like Dickies type shorts. And, man, I put them on and did the old squat down, so I could get that good look around the corner and shit, You got that, your hand up under your chin, checking shit out.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, this is great. They aren't bunching in all the wrong places and biting me. And I was like, perfect. So it was.
So what you're saying is you're a big fan.
I'm such a huge fan. Well, also, as a ample gentleman, I don't like really tight stuff. And if these didn't flex, like a lot of the shorts that are out there, I'd have to go up a size so that, when I move, they wouldn't be constantly grabbing my thighs or whatever,
Right.
Fair
enough.
You want a little room. I'm not a man who likes, I'm fine wearing a slim cut, but not a, a skinny cut. You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway, now that everyone's like, I can't believe they just talked about clothes twice, because we talked about
the shit.
Talked about t-shirts too.
Just saying, flex fit is the shit.
Yeah. I'm actually really surprised that there weren't more flex fit things for larger people, like guys. Because I've been around a lot of big guy clothing, and there's not a ton of pants that had that, unless you go with elastic, and fuck that noise. I ain't trying to wear elastic unless it's gym shorts,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
underpants, that kind of thing.
Even then.
Right. Even then, I'm like, who's got the softest elastic? Because that's where I'm going. I need three things. No tag, soft waistband, dry, and moisture wick.
Smooth elastic.
Right. I mean, they've gotten better. The technology in under britches has gotten pretty good.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of some of the ones I have.
Think about it from the first time you were wearing boxer briefs or whatever to now. There's been some pretty significant leaps made.
Yeah. I mean, as an older man,
that shit's
you get
important.
them heavy plumb balls or whatever.
Yeah. Support matters,
have that
man.
Support.
Yep. But you don't want to go back to the briefs. Fuck that noise.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. I ain't trying
Briefs are for weaklings.
Yeah. Or I told somebody the other
say.
day, I was like, because they said something about tighty whities, and I was like, tighty whities are for sitcom dads.
Yeah, exactly. You are 100% correct.
That is who they're for. Like I said, I've said on here before, that one, I can't remember who it was, but one of the Simpsons writers talked about the hierarchy that, boxers are funny, but tighty whities are funnier,
Yes.
and he's right. They are, if you're watching a TV show and, Kevin James comes out and he's wearing boxer briefs, not funny at all. If he's wearing boxers, not really funny. If he's wearing kind of weird fitting tighty whities, hilarious.
Yeah. Because they're way too high on him and stuff.
Yeah. Or how many times was Bryan Cranston rocking them on Malcolm in the Middle? And they were, I guess,
time.
Or in Breaking Bad, I guess, also.
Oh, yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. Because they know.
Deaf time, though.
Right? It's important. It's not important. Anyway, let's move on from this. This is
all right.
Beyond pointless.
It's kind of what we do, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Do you have anything else? I don't.
Not really, man. I mean, it's been a weird week,
All right. Well, I do have one thing that, for the second week in a row, I completely missed something that Cheeto sent.
Oh, no. But
yeah.
Cheeto's our boy.
I know. I'm just a shitty person.
That happens.
He actually sent a shut up and take my money.
Oh, well, shit. Let me fire the soundboard back up because it powered off during the tighty-whitey talk. Give me an A.
Shut up and take my money.
There we go. All right. Yep.
Yeah.
Although at this point, it's going to be tough because by my delay, it's maybe more difficult. But anyway, they had on Amazon, they had a Loot Crate, Evil Dead 2, Henrietta versus Ash.
That's cool.
Which is like this little vinyl gimmick. Actually, I guess I could send you the link so you can actually.
Well, I don't know, Brian. Maybe the last time you sent me a link, I got it the next time we podcasted. So
that's true. I forgot about that. Oh crap! Yeah, you know what? Given that, I'm just not going to bother.
All right.
Well, because also like right now the camera's trying to freeze up for some, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's exciting. That's cool.
Dang it! I hit the wrong thing. Sorry, I completely lost my page. Well, for some reason,
ruined it.
Well, the page was trying to refresh too. So, anywho,
nice.
It's this little vinyl gimmick of like Ash when Henrietta's like coming through the floor, you know, and you know, it's just a cute little vinyl thing. But anyway, it's like $8.99. But the link that I have for it says there's only one left in stock. It does say it's available from other people though, so you know.
Right.
There's that. But I'll have a link to that in the show notes also if anybody's interested in that. It looks kind of cool.
I mean, anything Evil Dead, I'm down for. Let's be honest.
Yeah, pretty much. There's gonna be a new Ash pop coming out where he's holding the oh shit, I can't think of the name. The book.
Oh, the Necronomicon?
Yeah, he's holding that, and I think he.
Necronomicon Ex Mortis.
But it looks pretty.
The Book of the Dead.
It looks pretty cool. Sorry. So of course I'll have to grab one of those.
Well, yeah, I mean, shit.
And one last thing, this is I guess this will fit in the shut up and take my money also a little bit, is they announced like the new series of wrestling figures. And I pre-ordered from Amazon. They have a 2-pack, and it's Hogan and Mr. T from the WrestleMania tag team.
Nice.
Oh God, I don't remember if that's which WrestleMania that is. It's one of the first few. Anyway, but there's also going to be a new Macho Man one. Although I will say this, the one they picked is not the greatest Macho Man they could have picked. And also, I don't understand why the hell there isn't a Macho King yet.
Yeah, there really should be a Macho King.
Like, really what should happen is there should be a 2-pack, and or there should be one of two things. Either Macho King on the throne, which would be awesome, or Macho King and Queen Sherry.
Either way would be fine.
Yeah. Because they just need to get me a Macho King because I'm kind of tired of them not having one yet.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Well, dude, this is
Brian.
like the 3rd or 4th Macho Man. It's like, how are you not making a Macho King by now?
Maybe just some sort of weird anniversary they're waiting on or something.
I don't know. They think they're just being
I don't
jerks.
know either.
Jerks, damn it. Anyway.
Assholes, man.
Yep. All right, well, let's go to what's going to be a very weird Q of the W segment, I guess, here.
All right.
So I've got a couple older ones to do real quick before we get into last week's. I noticed on our Twitter that someone from her name's Kit. It's at zombie_KitV2. Why is this just showing now? That's so weird. Unless someone liked it or something. Yeah, I don't know. This is so strange. The way this looked earlier, it looked like a current reply. But as I'm looking at it here, it looks like it was an old reply, but I don't ever remember reading it. Anyway, I'll read it anyway, and we'll just go with it. So the question for that week, which was 10 years ago, which was a couple of years ago, actually, was what is something your parents told you was dangerous but isn't? And her response was this is from her dad, actually, like from a text conversation. It says, at concerts, there are drug dealers who want to get everyone hooked on drugs. So they grab you, drag you into a bathroom, and shove a needle in your arm that's full of all the drugs. Then you freak out and try to eat your own arm off. Seriously, kids, stop. Kids, stop laughing. I saw a girl at a concert once trying to eat her own arm off. Then you're addicted to drugs. She says, smart-ass teen me. You mean if I survive eating my own arm off? So, yeah, good response there. It's, like I said, it's so weird, though, because it shows like, now I'm looking at it. Like I said, it shows the response as from June of 2018, but it also showed earlier today that it was, oh, my bad. Now I see what it was. They retweeted it.
Oh.
I just misread it. Anyway, whatever. It was a visit back to an old one anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. And then I have, sorry, I got to pull this up here, from Fluffy Bunny Ash, who she said she's behind on listening. And she just gave me her answers and was we thought it would be kind of funny to read them as responses to like the current question.
All right, fair enough.
But it's really not going to line up well. Because, you know, our question this week has to do with, you know, an artist. And her questions really don't have anything at all to do with that. Really quick, before we get to that, did you see the bullshit that's going around on the internets about, like, someone posted a thing about how someone in the 60s painted, like, the same place that Van Gogh did, and they were...
Oh, yeah.
And that basically it shows, you know, how much of a fraud Van Gogh was, because theirs is better.
Yeah.
And it's like, first off, go fuck yourself, because you can't...
As I checked, art was pretty subjective anyway.
Right. Well, plus, you can't go, I'm going to paint this like Van Gogh and do it better, because that's essentially like mansplaining something. You know?
Right.
Like Van Gogh knows what the fuck he's doing. He's doing it in the Van Gogh style. Anyone else doing it is not. They're doing it in an attempt to be in Van Gogh. He's in his own head. Like you said, art is subjective. And the first thing, and this pissed me off because it's like there were people like agreeing with this, and it's like, well, it shows how fucking stupid you are, because the first thing, and you know this because you've taken art classes also, we all have, but you've taken more advanced art classes, in that the first thing you're taught when you're taught how to become a real artist is how to see, right?
Right.
And your voice is how you see, and then put that onto whatever your canvas, air quote, is, right?
Right.
That's how he saw things. You can't do it better than him because that's what he saw. That's what he wanted. So you cannot do it better, like you said, mainly because, A, it's subjective. Now, you might make it more photorealistic, and if that is your only goal in art, then you should just look at photography instead.
Right.
Because every artist pretty much embellishes shit. I've seen, I don't know how many times over the years, Wizard, do you remember Wizard used to have that basic training section?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I do remember that.
I remember years ago where Jim Lee was talking about, I can't remember what it was. It was something on the leg, like where the kneecap was, or there was something he did. And when he drew it, he made a comment that he was like, this isn't how it actually appears, but I adjusted it because it looks better. Like, it works better to the eye this way. And I was taught that in different art classes too, is that sometimes you massage details. Like, you know, when you're drawing something, sometimes you don't fully render. Like, you know, if you're drawing comic book people, generally you don't over-render women because it makes them look like men when you're drawing them.
Right.
You know, now you can, if that's your style, that's fine. But traditionally, you wouldn't over-render. Or like some, you know, like noses and stuff. You don't want to overdo it because then they start looking weird. Right?
Right. Fair enough.
But they may not be photorealistic, but they look good drawn that way. So, like I said, all it shows is that these people making these comments don't know shit about art. So, if you...
Asshole.
Yeah, so if you hear or see somebody agreeing with this, you know, tell them to take a fucking art class and learn how that actually works.
Right.
Now I'll step off my soapbox. All right, so... Fluffy Bunny Ash's answers were, the first one comes from the, like, name a book you would never read in front of a building you would never go into one we did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was any Margaret Atwood book in front of any Scientology building, which you can see that.
That's fair.
I don't know if she would pass their test to get in. So, unless she deliberately tried to. I feel like she'd smell their bullshit.
You gotta hold those soup cans and pray to Xenu or whatever.
Right. And her second one is, I don't remember what it was, the question was now, but her answer is facial recognition. It says too big brothery, too much potential privacy intrusions, and room for abuse with not enough upside of actually benefiting mankind. I can't remember
I don't remember what past question that was either.
I don't either. I figured I would, because it just...
remember, Ryan, we're terrible.
Yeah, well, that's accurate. So, all right, so there you go. All right, now we're current.
Beauty.
So what do you got there?
What do I got?
Yeah, you got any
on the Facebook or not on Facebook?
Well, I guess
on Instagram, I only got one.
Okay, well, really quick. First of all, the question was if you could have your portrait done by a famous painter, who would you pick?
Yes.
Or something to that effect.
Yes, that was exactly it, actually.
All right, close enough.
So on Instagram, former enthusiast guest Casey Pierce, she writes Simon Beasley.
Nice.
So I can be a warrior with a rockin' rack.
I gotta say, I hope at some point I would love to see her get a commission done of herself from Simon Beasley. That would be fucking awesome.
That would be dope.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know who Simon Beasley is, he's done a lot of like fantasy type art and such over the years. Definitely look him up. He's got a what kind of a Frazetta style to him a little bit, but he's still got his own style. He's in that vein. So if you know who Frank Frazetta is, he kind of does similar-ish stuff, like fantasy stuff and whatnot.
If you play D&D, any of the artwork in D&D can look like handbooks.
Right. I feel like, didn't he do like some Lobo covers at one point too?
I'm pretty sure he did.
He's done a bunch of comic covers and stuff too. Yeah, he's a pretty interesting artist. If you're into the fantasy type stuff, because that's more his wheelhouse. Maybe he's done other stuff. I just don't remember. I just remember the fantasy stuff.
Yeah, stuff that stands out.
Yeah, because I think didn't he used to do a bunch of the covers with like Danzig?
I don't remember. I mean, probably.
Or am I mistaking him for someone else? I might be Here, I'll look while you're doing something else.
Well, on Facebook, we got Jeffrey from Hobie. I call him Jeffrey. Probably because it popped up. Today is actually his birthday. Happy birthday, Jeff.
Well, happy birthday, Jeff.
Yeah. It says, all the famous artists whose work I like are dead, and I don't want to be painted by a dead person.
I guess that's fair. All right.
That's fair.
I mean, we were going to give a pass on that. Maybe they were, made a time machine back to when they weren't dead.
Right.
Probably
but I mean, if you don't want zombie paintings, whatever.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
By the way, I was right. He did various stuff for Verotic Press.
Oh, right on.
I thought he did. I know he did for a while. He was doing a lot of that kind of stuff. But anyway, carry on.
Michelle, she says Bob Ross. I mean, I know he only does landscapes, but I'm sure he could have done my face Mount Rushmore style on one of his palette knife mountains.
Nice. That is interesting. I would have loved to have seen him do some portraits just because I'm curious. Because it isn't like what he does is very technique heavy more than it is anything. It's, I mean, really any art is, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, but literally you could hand him certain tools and say, paint this, a mountainscape or a forest, and he'll crush it because he knows exactly, but if you say, hey, do a face,
jam.
Right. If you do a face, maybe, I don't know. I'm curious if he had done using his normal techniques. I wonder if he'd ever done a portrait.
I don't know. That might be a Google image search right there.
Yeah, it might be.
Non-landscape Bob Ross paintings.
Yeah, right.
Right. Dev, he says Jackson Pollock or Salvador Dali.
Nice. Pollock would be funny.
And it
just splats
and
everywhere.
then Philip, he says Thomas Hart Benton.
Okay.
But that's what I have on the face pages.
All right. Well, really quick, I went ahead and Googled Bob Ross not landscape painting.
Fair enough.
Just for curiosity. Because I know he also, like, Bob Ross learned his technique from, I can't remember the guy's name, but there was a guy who taught him that technique.
Right. Jesus.
Yes, it was Jesus. You're right. No. It says, like, there's something here. I don't know. Like, I'm just looking at the, like, image search. And one of them says, Bob Ross, Portrait of Sally, season 7. So I don't know if he did it or not. But if so, it looks pretty good. So.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah. But I imagine he did because, it depends, I guess. Because, a lot of artists, at some point you've painted, scenery, landscape, or not landscapes, I can't think what it's called. Still lifes, portraits, all that kind of stuff. So at some point you've probably done something, but it'd be very curious.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Mash.
I'm not going to really deep dive on it, but it was, it's kind of interesting.
Right.
All right. Well, I don't have anything on Twitter for this one, but Cheeto says he would have Michelangelo. He said, after all, he was my second favorite Ninja Turtle, which now I have to ask, who was your favorite Ninja Turtle? Because I don't remember if he's ever told us before because I have a shitty memory.
Yeah, I don't recall either, to be fair.
Right? So who was your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I always liked Raphael because he was an asshole.
Yeah, I think I always leaned more Raphael too until they made him like overly like aggressive and emo kind of Raphael.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Like now I feel like he should be medicated.
Was too much of a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Donatello was too much of a nerd.
Right.
And liking Michelangelo just always seemed kind of,
well, that's what
hack to me.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Michelangelo was.
Michelangelo.
Well, he was the most popular one. So
yeah,
you think about it, like all the toy lines had Michelangelo in them, basically, like guaranteed. Like if they did a weird character thing, there was going to be a Michelangelo. Even though they did most of them, but there were times I think where they didn't do like Donatello, because Donatello was easily the least favorite one, which is why I think it's funny when I see so many people now. I've seen people on Twitter like, "Who was your favorite?" and so many people put Donatello, and I'm like, "Bullshit! Nobody liked Donatello,
dude.
Nerds."
The only time I like Donatello is if you're playing the arcade game for that reach.
For sure. Then, yeah. Now, he might be your favorite Ninja Turtle, but when you were a kid, stop it. He was a nerd. Nobody liked the nerd.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you though. Like I was always Raphael, and I mean, of course Michelangelo, because how could you not like him? He was extreme, and he was the
party dude,
right? So yeah, all right. And then Cheeto also says Hobie pick Basil Hallward, which is funny because I don't know why when I first read it, I first read that as Basil Hayden, maybe because I just want booze, but but he says Dorian Gray style, which I think is that's certainly a cool idea. If you could get a painting that would work that well, it's of course a curse as we learn in the story/movies. Spurlers,
but is it
Spurlers? On a book that we read when we were elementary school.
Yeah, exactly. So like that.
Yeah, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Indeed.
And yeah, that's what I got, my friend.
Alrighty.
So I guess let's move on to this week's Q of the W. As soon as my Google Docs loads, because
geez,
some reason it likes to refresh because it's a jerk.
Indeed.
I guess really what we should do is we should decide. I like the picking on the fly thing, but I almost feel like the smarter move would be for us to decide ahead of time so I can already have it loaded.
I mean, that's probably true.
Or for me to cut all this bullshit out so that it seems like everything went smoothly.
Yeah, right.
Nope, warts and all, folks.
Warts and all.
Okay, I think as soon as it lets me scroll a little bit, we'll be in business here. Come on. Dude, it's a doc. Like, it shouldn't take very long to load. It's just text.
It's currently got to read your hard drive of all your information.
Yeah, that's probably it. All right, 1 through 31.
Damn. Let's go 9.
9? You asshole. I wouldn't have had to scroll.
Uh-huh.
Now we got to wait for it to scroll back up. See what you did?
Damn it. God damn it.
I lay this at your feet.
That's okay.
Oh my God, why
It's
is this
all right.
taking so long? There we go, finally. Okay, if you were a patron saint, what would it be of?
Yep.
Saint Tony. Well,
Yeah,
actually, it would be
patron saint of what?
Yeah.
I mean, my brain says, oh, patron saint of craft beers, because I do enjoy me some craft beers.
Mm-hmm. That's not too far off of my first thought.
But I think I'm going to be the patron saint of just relaxation. Just take a step back and chill out, everybody.
I'm just picturing the stained glass window, and it's kind of like you looking like the dude,
Yeah, exactly, right? And believe me, if I could just walk around in a robe all day, I totally would.
A very, very short robe.
Yo, the shortest of robes, Brian.
Almost as short as Dev's kimonos.
Yeah, almost. I mean, I gotta almost show off my Manscaped job.
Well, I was gonna say you're a little older than Dev, so the robe's got to be just a fuzz longer than.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Gravity has its effects,
right?
Yeah.
Definitely don't need a door knocker situation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Originally, the first thing that popped into my head for me, I was gonna say I would love to be like the patron saint of like bourbon, because how great would that be to have like distilleries having, like I said, like stained glass, and you're just up there like, you just got a glass of some,
and someone pulls a little charm out with your head on it and kisses it.
Yeah, exactly. Not to mention, I'm picturing like a bourbon bottle with like a stained glass thing of me on it. For the patron
that would
saint.
Be cool.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. That'd be Saint Stu, patron saint of brown liquors.
Yeah, right.
Delicious. Realistically, though, I think the most appropriate one for me would be the patron saint of overthinking. Or worrying, however you want to, word that.
I mean, fair enough.
My stained glass thing is like, it's just me, and I'm just like, just looking like, the picture of the Joker where he's got like his hands in his hair, and it's just all over it. Mine would be something like that, but instead of saying ha, I would just say like why a bunch of times or something. Obviously, I wouldn't be pulling hair because there's nothing to pull.
Well, yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah. I just have my hands on my head, freaking out.
Freak out.
Oh, I thought there was going to be more.
That's all I got.
God damn it.
You'll have that.
Damn. Hey, completely unrelated to Q the W, since I assume we're past that now. Did you see there's a Muppet series in Disney Plus now?
A new one?
A new one. Yeah.
I did not see that. I rewatched the last series that they had.
Yeah, no, I was on the PlayStation gimmick, when you're pulling up like the TV apps or whatever.
Yeah.
And they show you previews for the different, apps. And one of them showed Muppets. I forgot what it's called now. Damn it. But yeah, it's brand new. So I'm going to have to have a look-see at that, maybe after I finish Beavis and Butthead.
Check it out. Give me a report, would you?
Will do. So, I was happy to see it because remember Disney Plus, before they launched, it was like, hey, new Muppet series. And then like a week later, it was like, just kidding.
Yeah, they go, fooled you.
I'm like, oh, but we wanted a new Muppet series. And Disney said, we don't give a shit what you want.
Yeah, basically. He gives zero fucks what you want,
You
bro.
will take what the mouse tells you to take.
Yeah. Including this mouse dick.
Yes, especially that mouse dick.
Damn Disney.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do, right?
Exactly.
Did you see their Mulan is going to be free? Well, not free, but part of the Disney Plus network soon.
I did see that.
Without the $30 charge. So
right.
And then I got one last thing before we wrap her up here.
All right, what you got there?
Which is, I think we'd be remiss to not talk about Chadwick Boseman dying.
Yeah, how bummer is that, huh?
Came out of I mean, it's seeming like, to me anyway. I don't remember ever reading or seeing anything that he had cancer. So when I saw he died, I'm like, holy shit, he's like my age, Like I knew it's like whoa. And then I saw it was cancer, and that he's been dealing with it since 2016, I think.
Yeah, I didn't. Like, I'm with you. I didn't even know he was sick,
dude. That means he filmed all them movies while fighting colon cancer, like late stage 3/stage 4 colon cancer, which is one of the most painful cancers. I was like, holy shit, like, man, talk about a legit like superhero,
yeah, I know, right? Wild.
Really good actor. I mean, God, he was good as Jackie Robinson. He was great, as Black Panther, of course. That was, so really, really sad there,
Yeah, I mean, I think the day I found out, I just popped up social media or something. I was like, the fuck? And I had to go Google it.
Yeah, right? Because at first, like, the first thing I saw was, like, R.I.P. Chadwick or something like that. And I'm like, oh, geez, now what? Because, the internet's got all that bullshit to where it's either a cancel culture thing or just some assholes posting, something about somebody or, trying to make people think someone had died. And when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, it's like, he's actually dead. Like, whoa. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mind blowing, yeah. And
it's too bad. Good actor.
One thing I saw come out of it that's a really good point is, I guess, and I didn't know this either, which was over the last little while, he had gotten a lot of negative comments about his weight loss.
Yeah, I heard about that, and it's like, that's why the internet sucks.
Right. And, it turns out the reason he lost weight is because that's what happens when you have cancer a lot of times. You can't keep weight.
Yeah.
My dad went from being probably about $170 when he got diagnosed to when he died. I don't know if my dad weighed 100 pounds. He was super light.
Right.
So, and that's pretty common. That's why a lot of times doctors ask you if you've had any rapid weight loss. Because that's generally that can be a sign. So, so it's just a really good lesson to, not be an asshole to people and judge them because you don't know what the hell, they're dealing with. Because, I mean, dude could have just stepped away from Hollywood and fought his fight.
Yeah, right.
And no one looking back would have thought shit about it. Like if he had come out and said, hey, I'm dying of colon cancer, I'm done, I think we all would have been like, fuck, dude, like fight on, kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly, right.
The fact that he still wanted to go make, movies and put out entertainment and stuff, given what he was facing, it's like, holy shit, But again, any of us who've known people with cancer all know that usually they want to, people, they want to just be people. They want to have normal lives. They don't want to have to, be seen or treated differently, essentially. So,
the one thing I saw about that, it was kind of, I mean, obviously it sucks he died, but that the people that broke the news was his family. It wasn't like some blogger or TMZ,
right? Which is
I thought
weird.
That was actually kind of like unusual in this day and age.
Yeah, because seriously, TMZ breaks more news maybe than anybody anymore. It seems like they break news and shit that you're like, they cover that? Like,
yeah, exactly, right?
It's wild. Yeah. Did you see there's been a few like this, but there's been tons of tributes to him.
Right.
And the one that got me is it's like, did you see the one? It's like the little boy with like all his action figures, like all his Avengers basically standing in a circle, and he's got his Black Panther like laying down.
I didn't see that one.
He's given the Wakanda salute.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, that's well done. I don't know if that was the kid's idea or if that was, someone else's idea, but it's a hell of a job as far as a tribute goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that, if he died in the comics, then that would be what would happen.
That's what the panel would be, basically.
Right. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was sad, but and as the other part of it too, and I haven't read anything on this, so I don't know. It's like, I know Marvel was like, they've got a Black Panther 2 movie
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what's
planned.
going to happen now.
Yeah, I haven't read anything. I haven't looked into it yet, so I just am naive to,
right?
What the plans might be. Also, I can see Marvel not wanting to immediately be like, hey, and seem really insensitive.
Yeah, like, oh, what's that, Chadwick? Okay, well, we're going to move on to this guy now.
Right, like we
need you to film the scene where you're passing the mask or whatever.
Right, yeah, the very next day, they're just like, they're like RIP, Black Panther, and they're like, by the way, we're, open casting. It's like, what? Like,
yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, like, you shitheads.
Yeah.
But, yeah, all right, well, there you go. I guess that's a show, I guess. Can't think of anything else unless you have something else there.
No, I have a cat down here that keeps rubbing against my hand and then breakdancing on the floor.
That's pretty cool.
I really feel like I should drop some cardboard. She's definitely doing some breaking two electric boogaloo action.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty sexy and sick.
Sexy? Wait, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. No. All right, we'll head over to saltylanguage.com, click all the links. Like we mentioned earlier, go check out the episode with John O'Deener, where he talks about the different, experiences he's had with the swellers and braided veins and, his love of wrestling and whatever. It was a good, fun interview we had with him. Not an interview. It was a chat. It wasn't an interview because it's not like we ever go in with like 20 questions. We just have a conversation. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and check that out. You can grab any of the past episodes there. All our social media is there. The show links are there. Blah 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 is there. Yakety schmackety.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Bunch of blah, blah, blah.
That's right. And if you want to reach out to us, you can find us on Twitter at salty_language. You can find me at Stunami.
You can find me at Monotony or on the Instagrams. Look for my reels. The Monotony.
For reals. You can find me at Stunami on Instagram if you'd like, and maybe I'll approve you.
And, all of our links and stuff, of course, are available on saltylanguage.com.
Yep. So there you go.
Per usual.
Word. Oh, almost forgot. The network that we're part of.
Oh, that's right. Jeez.
Danger! Watch your back! Danger!
Tangibound Entertainment. the whole time that's going now, I have to, like, when he goes danger, I have to go tangent. Because otherwise
I'm someone to, like, re-record it for us.
Yeah.
Tangent, motherfucker.
Otherwise I am going to, like, it's so funny just how ingrained that is. Like, we haven't said the other every week anymore, but it's right there. I mean, he says danger, so it, Pavlovian response,
I guess.
That just means I want a delicious beer from up the road.
I mean, who doesn't, right?
Good shit. Anyway, yeah, go check out the Tangibound Network at tangiboundnetwork.com. And, or check out the other shows on the network, I should say, I guess. And, yeah, so there you go, I guess. Until next week, have a beer, you'll be fine.
Stay just the saltiest.
And, I don't know. De-escalation? I got...
I mean, it is, right?
I got nothing else. Well, be nice to one another, damn it.
Indeed. Always. Stop not being nice to each other. How about that?
That's the t-shirt right there. Stop not being nice.
Yeah.
That is certainly the more us version of the shirt.
It's very true, right?
Yeah.
Assholes.